Hey everyone, Tyler Engelbert's here coming at you with another video for Viking Media. Now, today I saw something that disturbed me enough that I had to do a whole nother video about CBC shenanigans. And I know yesterday's video was about CBC, and today I'm going to be a little bit of a broken record, and then we'll move on to something else with this channel. But today I saw a trailer for CBC's Shut Him Down, The Rise of Jordan Peterson. And, I don't even think I have to, it's coming out on November 2nd. I don't think I even have to watch it to know pretty much how it's going to go. Even just from the trailer, they're already trying to demonize him as a transphobic, homophobic. They invented a word lesphobic. I'm pretty sure that's the same as homophobic, but, what do I know? And I just think it's going to be a total smear slander piece. And it's, again, our taxpayer dollars demonizing people that probably don't need to be demonized. I think if you're not familiar with Jordan Peterson, he's a clinical psychologist and a professor at the University of Toronto, and he's says some controversial things, but I don't think anything out of line. If you haven't watched any of his stuff, YouTube him, check him out. So for those of us that are now familiar with Jordan Peterson, so the CBC, like I said, is come out with this behind the scenes glimpse at Jordan Peterson, and I'm assuming how he got where he is and what he's saying and who he's making angry and all that good stuff. And I'll let you in on a little secret. If they're going to tell you who he's making angry, it's the left, like usual. And they apparently want to shut him down because the left seems to be full of a bunch of wet naps who can't, stomach the idea of somebody not thinking exactly like they do. And it's very disturbing to me how they want to take everybody's free speech away that wants to say something. The left just seems so bent on stifling anybody that doesn't fall in line with their beliefs, and it just boggles my mind how somebody can be so offended by a viewpoint. We all hear things in our day-to-day interactions with people that we don't agree with, but we don't go screaming to the government saying make that illegal, make them a criminal, do whatever. And it's usually we'll have some sort of rebuttal, but in most cases, it seems like the left doesn't have a conscientious argument to a lot of the stuff that's being said. And if you cast the left in a bad light, there's usually some screeching and some triggered this and some hate speech that and et cetera, et cetera. I've heard so many people say that Jordan Peterson is bad and he's terrible and this and that. And I've read his book, 12 Rules of Life, I think 12 Rules for Life, anyways, but it seemed to me the chapters are a little bit basic, but his points are good, and everything that I've seen and heard from him is honestly inspiring. He's simply trying to get people to take responsibility for their own actions, and he's trying to shine a light on the left and why they do some of the things they do. And he talks a lot about Marxism and how the left is so authoritarian and how they want to control everybody. And he's kind of saying, like, hey, look, we don't need the government to control every aspect of our lives, and we should be responsible for ourselves. We don't need the left screeching at us, and we're responsible human beings. And it brings me to the point of us being responsible human beings. And I think as responsible grown adults, I think we should be solely responsible for tuning in and out of what we want to tune into and tune out of. If Jordan Peterson's saying something that you don't like, don't listen to him. The thought that this leftist protectionism needs to protect everybody from ideas that they deem deplorable it's mind-boggling. I'm a grown-ass man, and I don't need to be told what should be offensive to me and what shouldn't be. And this whole CBC, maybe I'll end up eating my words and the CBC will be fair. I really doubt it. I hope that I do end up eating my words, and if I do, I will, I'll fully acknowledge that I was wrong, but I don't see that being the case. I see this being case of Jordan Peterson being threatening to the left, and I see this as Justin Trudeau and his ever-increasing budget to the CBC, you know, sicking the CBC on Jordan Peterson, and running this whole smear piece so that the left gets all irate about all this stuff that he's supposedly doing. And you know Jordan Peterson, he doesn't advocate any kind of violence. In fact, he advocates against it at any chance that he gets. He's not inspiring hate. He's not doing this. He wants people to be accountable for themselves, which is seriously lacking in today's society. Like, to the point that it makes me sick. Especially with my generation, I think there's a lot that can be done for us to pull up our socks and get to work and make something of our lives. And that's what Jordan Peterson wants for us. He wants to help people look at their lives and realize, maybe what's wrong with your life, what you don't have control of, and what you do have control of. And he wants you to take action on those things that you have control of every day of your life, and turn your life into something that's worth living, and turn your life into something bigger than yourself, and turn yourself into a contributing member of society, so that you can contribute, and you can leave a legacy or not. Or it's just, and what is so wrong with that? We're so bent on suckling on the government and pointing blame at everybody. Like, everybody wants to blame their shortcomings on their parents or on the government or on society. And if you go through your entire life looking for somebody to blame for your shortcomings, you'll probably find somewhere to put that blame. Not that it's not necessarily warranted, but you can probably go through life without taking a whole lot of accountability for your own actions. And I just think that's such a damaging, it's such a sad way to live life. We need to, as people and as society, look at ourselves individually and see how we can better our situation, and how we can better society, and how we can better our home life, and better our relationships, and better every aspect of our lives, because that's what we want to do, and that's what people should want to do. We should want to make our lives better. We should want to live the best life. Live your best life. And I think that that's all Jordan Peterson is trying to help people accomplish. And it really makes me sick that the CBC and the left want that shut down at all costs. Because, a society and a populace that isn't reliant on government fully and wants, a population that's responsible for themselves is no good to anybody in government, because ultimately they're going to end up wanting less government and wanting more responsibility for themselves. So this is very threatening. I think Jordan Peterson is threatening to the left. He's threatening to big government. He's threatening to basically what I consider irrationality. It's yeah. That's kind of where I wanted to go with that. And I want to thank you guys for listening. It feels really good to get all this off my chest, and I'm glad that I have a platform here and an audience to speak to. And if you guys agree or disagree with what I'm saying, let's hear it in the comments, and we'll keep it civil. And if you like what you heard today, if you like what I said, if you like what I'm saying, give the video a like, and feel free to subscribe, please. It'll help me a lot. And it'll help you see more like this, and more policy talks with myself, and more It's Sunday Let's Talks, and all this stuff that I'm doing, and what I'm going to be doing in the future. So I'm going to end this with just another jab at the CBC. It's sickening to see my tax dollars going to attack a man that I don't think should be attacked. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for tuning in.